What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Talks with Tay.
God is just like, you telling me you did it and you obeyed me, like you doing me a favor. When the truth of the matter is, I'm doing you a favor. Just because you don't see it, just because your humanity can't understand it, that doesn't mean that I'm not good. That doesn't mean that my plan isn't good. I know the end from the beginning. You don't. So I think my way is better than yours. And I think sometimes we read those scriptures and we read them to like, I feel like we read them to encourage ourselves, which is rightfully so. They are encouraging scriptures, but sometimes we don't apply them to the hard stuff. That God knows the end from the beginning. That His ways are not our ways. And that doesn't. It's not just a pacifier. For you to be like, all right, when you don't understand, when you just don't understand something, all right, God, my ways are not your ways. I don't understand what you're doing, da da da. But also, it's just like, yes, my ways are not your ways, meaning your ways are not better than mine. Your ways are never going to be better than mine. Your ways are never going to amount to mine. Your ways may make sense to you, it may make sense to man, it may make sense logically, but they are not my ways. I know everything. I literally know everything. So like when we say stuff like that, it should make sense that we trust someone who knows everything already. He knows why he told me to go back home. He knows what I avoided. He knows he knows what I need. He knows what I needed in order to get to where he wanted me to be. He knows all of that. But for some reason, it's still stuck in my head. All right, God, but it makes sense to do this though. I understand what you're saying, and I'm gonna do what you do. But can you consider my ways too? But it's just like I feel like he's saying my ways are not your ways. Forget your ways. Throw your ways away because they're not mine, and I'm perfect. You know. But anyway, I feel like I'm just going on a tangent real quick. But all that to say, I think God is he's 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 purifying me. He's he's chastening me. He's correcting me. And for me, I'm just like, I thought I was doing good. I'm doing my best to live a life of sanctification and a life of holiness. You know, I stay away from things that will lead me to do the opposite. I'm faithful in what God has placed in my hand, when it comes to ministry or a responsibility that He's given me. I try my best to be faithful and be accountable with that, and I feel like I have a pretty good head on my shoulders. Um, if God tells me to tell somebody something, it may be hard for me, but I try my best to do it. So I'm just like, I feel like I was in good standing. But in this last, it's been a few weeks where it's for me. I see, okay, this is a heart check. This is a motive check. It's giving. Can I trust you to do what I ask of you, even when you don't see the results, right? Sometimes we like, all right, God, I'll obey you because I know you're gonna do this for me. I'll obey you because I know you're gonna make a way for me, which may be true, but I think God is teaching me. I need you to obey me even when you don't see the results. I need you to obey me even when things don't happen as fast as you think they should happen. I need you to obey me when you don't get recognized. I need you to obey me even when nobody calls your name. I need you to obey me when I don't talk to you the way you want me to talk to you. I just need you to obey me. It's giving, I need to be able to trust you. I need to kill that prideful part of you. Although I gave that gift to you, I don't want it to get to your head. I don't want you to think that the gift is yours now And not meaning that I won't give him the glory for it, but I don't want you to think that you have control over that gift, that you can maneuver however you want with that gift. I gave you that gift. So I'm telling you to use it the way I want you to. And also, I don't want that gift to become your idol. Just because it comes from God doesn't mean that it can't be an idol. God has shown me, yo, Taylor, you have some idols. And it's not the idols that, we may think, or the most common idol. When we think of idols, think of money, we think of relationships, other gods, or rocks. We think of other stuff. And God is just like, nah, it's not what you think. So I have this thing where when I get super anxious and jittery, I eat candy, right? It helps with my nerves. It started off with espresso. I would get like 4 shots of espresso in a latte, right? But then I was spending like 60 beans at Starbucks every week. And then God was like, quit your job. I was like, all right, cool. I can't afford that anymore. So I was like, all right, back candy it is. And it helped. And for some reason, I feel like God is about to make me give up candy, because when I get anxious, I go to the candy before I go to Him. And He's just like, is candy your God? It's giving candy's your God. You go into the candy before you come to me. So He's like, bet, give me that here. I feel like God is saying, give me all of it. With quitting the job, bet you're too dependent on that job. Give it to me. Down to the espresso. You too dependent on that espresso. Give it to me. Now you can't afford it. Like, you too dependent on the candy, bro. Give it to me. You're too dependent on the words of that person. Give the relationship to me. Medication. I struggle with migraines really bad. I was taking some strong medicine. I ain't even gonna tell you what I was doing, because y'all might be like, yo, you need to get checked in somewhere. But the medicine stopped working. Give it to me. He's like, you come into me after you've tried everything else. Give it all to me. Give me your job. Give me your will. Give me your heart. Give it all to me. And boy, is it challenging. So basically, this trip, it may a lot. Many may not understand. Like, oh, Taylor, you went to a women's convention. Like, cool, that's dope. It was a learning experience for me. Learning how to serve, to and serve without nobody got to know what you're doing. Nobody got to know what you're doing behind closed doors. Nobody got to know what you're doing for this person, that person. If you don't get acknowledged, is that going to stop you from serving? If that person don't say thank you every single time, is that going to stop you from serving? I feel like God is teaching me how to be humble, but to be humble like Him. Because me, I don't care to be in the spotlight. I want to be in the background. I don't care to, have all the lights on me. I don't care about that. So I'm just like, I think I'm a pretty humble person, until God was just like, it's giving pride, kid. It's giving arrogance. It's giving, you're a little bit selfish. And me, I couldn't understand. I'm like, yo, God, anything I'm asked of, I do it. Like, I do it. But He's just like, what about when you're not asked? What about when you see something and you don't volunteer to do something? I need you to volunteer and not expect anything in return. If nobody ever calls your name, I still need you to be obedient. And something that really sticks with me now, because a lot of times we say our praise and our worship is not emotional. In this season, my obedience cannot be emotional. I don't need chills to obey God. I don't need a prophecy to obey God. I don't need it to be the right time to obey God. I don't need everything to be perfect to obey God. I feel like the only thing that I need to obey God is my breath, the breath that He gives me. So every day that He allows me to wake up, I should give Him my full obedience. Because the truth of the matter is, everything that He's done for me, I can't ever repay Him. I can't ever repay Him. Even when I become, you know, as successful as He allows me to be, and I get the wealth that He allows me to have, I still can't repay Him. So the most I can give Him is my life, all of it. That's the most I can give Him. Like that's all I have for Him is my life. And that means withholding nothing. That means doing the things I don't want to do. That means putting on the skirt. It's not that big of a deal, Taylor. You don't want to do it, but put on the skirt. Because it's like I want to use you in certain areas, and unfortunately, you know, sometimes people, they turn you off once they see your appearance. And I think also being here, like, I'm glad I could be myself. I'm glad I was around very cool people. Um, but to keep it a buck, I did realize that when we went out, I was the only one in pants. When we went out, I was the one with tattoos. When we went out, I was the one with all the piercings. I realized that this stuff don't bother me. Like I don't care. Like, don't convict me. God ain't telling me to take it out. But I feel like there will come a time where I will have to stand in front of a group of people, and yes, I'm gonna have to take my nose ring out. I'm gonna have to take out all these piercings. I'm gonna have to wear a long sleeve to cover. I'm gonna have to wear a long skirt to cover the other one. And I think I'm learning to be okay with that. I'm trying to please God, I'm not trying to please people. I can't, just because it doesn't convict me, or just because I don't agree with it, or just because I don't have to do this, that, or the third to get to heaven. That doesn't mean that it's not necessary, because all of it is leading back to Christ. If there's a person who needs deliverance and they turn me off because I refuse to put on a skirt, now I'm responsible for that. Of course, yeah, of course, you could say, well, they should have just listened. They should have got over their religious reasons. But the truth of the matter is, I maybe what was inside of me could have been that deliverance, could have brought them that deliverance they needed. But I was so prideful and thought my way was better that now they're going to be bound for another day, for another week, for another month, however, until God gives them the opportunity to be free, whether it be through me again or through somebody else. Um, so I think this trip, from the start to the finish, literally from me getting to the airport to come here, it's really giving, kid, I need you to obey me. And not just me, but I have put some people in your life that are going to teach you what you need for where I'm taking you. And I need you to obey them too. I know it makes you uncomfortable. I know you don't think it's necessary, but just wait. Wait till you see why I made you go through all of this. Wait till you see why I made you go on the trips. Because I don't go to no trips. Because I just like, what am I going for? For what? Like, and I just feel like he's like, yo, just trust me. Wait till you see why I made you give that to me. Wait till you see how our relationship flourishes. Wait till you see how you flourish when you give it all to me. Wait till you see how things begin to shift when you learn to submit, when you learn to serve, when you learn to be meek, when you learn to give me your pride. Imagine the things that you will see. Imagine the goodness that you will see. Because sometimes when we do certain things, we blind ourselves of God's goodness. Now we say He's good, but sometimes we blind ourselves because when you don't want to do something or when something makes you uncomfortable, you don't see it as God being good. So it's taken me, and I just realized this yesterday. God's love, it shows in different ways. It's more than the embrace. It's more than the He'll never leave you nor forsake you. It's more than He'll give you peace and He'll give you joy. It's more than Him making you feel warm inside. God's like He also shows His love by correcting you. He also shows His love by chastening you. Like He also shows His love by telling you the areas that you need to grow in and the areas that you need to mature in, the areas that you're not so strong in. And it low key broke my heart a little bit when He brought it to my attention, you know, that I don't have your full heart. It kind of broke me a little bit for Him to be like, hey, you're extremely prideful. You're extremely arrogant. You're putting a lot of stuff before me. It broke my heart a little bit, you know? But I go back in these moments, I literally I hear the prayers that I prayed. And when I pray them, I mean them. I definitely think it's the Holy Ghost leading me to pray these things over myself. It takes me back to those prayers. Like I hear myself saying, and I remember myself saying, God, let my heart begin to mold my heart to look like yours. Begin to make me in a way that when I do things that hurt you, let it do something to me. Because I think that's how we become more like Christ. By praying those certain, it's hard to pray them prayers. Something I pray a lot. God, mold me, shape me, build me into whom you have called me to be. And I can, and it took me until yesterday to realize God is molding me. And when you mold, you have to like push and pinch and shape everything around. And think about somebody having their hands on you, just smushing or whatever, and whatever, and being firm. I don't think that would feel good. So I came like literally yesterday. It was like I heard the prayer, God mold me. And I was just like, oh snap, you're molding me into who you want me to be. And then when this came about a few weeks ago, I went into God creating me a clean heart. And what did He do? He revealed all the nasty things that was in my heart. He revealed all the nasty stuff that I needed to get out. But I'm also grateful that He said, all right, cool. You don't got to do it alone. Just give it to me. Give me your imperfections. Give me your concerns. Give me your anger. Give me your frustration. Give me your questions. Give it to me. He's not intimidated by any of it. He said, give it to me. Let me have it. Let me take that off of you. Give it to me. And once I take it off of you, watch me put something of mine on you. The scripture that has also been in my head, he'll give you beauty for ashes. He'll give you joy for sadness. There's a garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. So when you give him this stuff, he's going to give you something back. But he's also teaching me that's not the only reason you give it to me. You don't give it to me so that you can get this, that, and the third. You give it to me because I'm God. You give it to me because I'm asking of it. I'm asking you for it. That's why you give it to me. Thankfully, he's gracious. He's a blessing God. He cares about what I care about. He's a providing God, and I'm grateful for that. I think he's really teaching me, don't do it for the things. Don't do it for the stuff. Don't serve me out of a fear of hell. You know, don't serve me for the stuff. Don't worship me so that the pain can stop. Don't praise me so you can get a car. Don't praise me just so you can get a house. Don't praise me just so your bank account can overflow. Do I believe God will do all of these things? Yes. Absolutely. I believe God is going to do something amazing for me. I know he is. And I think that's what it is, because he promised me. But he's like, I gave you that promise, but now I don't want you to serve me just so you can get to that promise. I don't want you to do all of these things just so you can get the stuff. I want your heart. I'm going to give you these things because I'm a good God, but I want your heart. I want you. I want Taylor. And I know what Taylor comes with because I gave it to you. But I want Taylor. The Taylor that nobody knows. Because don't nobody know my name yet. I want that Taylor. I want you for you. If I didn't give you anything, if I didn't give you the gift of the gift of music, if I didn't call you to do whatever it is, I'll be scared to say it sometimes. If I didn't call you to do that, if I didn't give you the gift of playing basketball, if I didn't give you any of that, I would still want you. If all you knew how to do was sweep floors, I would still want you, and I would still want all of you. And I think that's what he's teaching me. I want you. I don't want your stuff. I don't want your stuff. I'm God. I'm good. I don't need your stuff. I want your heart. So even that conversation that we were having in the car, it ultimately led to it being a heart thing. I want your heart. I don't want all the stuff. And I need you to stop caring about all the stuff. I'll work everything out. I need you to stop caring about all the stuff. Give me your heart. With that being said, because we could be here all day. With that being said, you know, this trip was cool. I had fun. Although they was working and running around with like chickens with their head cut off. I had to be a good time. I haven't laughed like this in so long. Um, and it's crazy because when I first got off the plane, I said this is gonna be my first and last time coming with y'all. This is gonna be my first and last time doing doing a convention. So now me about to go to the airport and go back home to me being like, I'll do it again. I'll come back next year. They're already trying to get me to go to the bigger convention. I said, all right, hold on, wait a second. Y'all gotta give me a minute. This trip, these roads that God is taking me down. I think he's really just teaching me, I want your heart. And now he's gonna put me in certain positions where I learn humility for real. He's gonna put me in positions, you know, where my heart has to be pure because everything is not gonna go my way. I learned a lot. God, they put me in a God. I feel like God did this. I was in a room with two adjutants, both of them. Boom, y'all saw it. Jade. I've been around Jade. I've seen her in it, but I haven't been with her 3 days in a row in a room, going with them to doing what they have to do, watching them put themselves aside to serve somebody else. Like my issues don't matter right now. I got something to do. I have somebody that I need to serve because they have a bigger assignment. And if I do this, if I it's kind of like if I lower, you know, sorry about the garbage, y'all. If I take the focus of myself, if I lower myself, I'm gonna make the load a little lighter for them so they can do what God has called them to do. I think that's what it was for me. For 3 days straight, I'm watching them serve. I'm watching them be diligent. I'm watching them take some blows, but still doing what they have to do. I'm watching them push past their tiredness. Although we always just like, all right, but I'm watching them push past, you know, their physical body. They're like, because we ain't getting no sleep, but still doing what needs to be done. That's for me. That's what the heart of God looks like. Did they get acknowledged at the end? Yes, but I highly doubt. I know that that's not an everyday thing because of who they serve. I wholeheartedly believe that she appreciates them. I know she does, but I highly doubt they get told that every day. But they still do it. And then when it's time for them to be seen, they got a smile on their face. What? Imagine you just did this, that, and the third, and you ain't feel like doing it, and now you got to go in front of people and smile. God, and that's what God is teaching me, girl. Sometimes you're gonna be tight, but you still gonna have to get up there and smile. You don't get to let your attitude show on your face. And mind you, hear what I said? That doesn't. I didn't say God said you can't have an attitude, but sometimes you might. There's a time and a place. Can I trust you with that? Can I trust you that when you don't agree with something, you won't make a face? Can I trust you with like just going above and beyond, even when there's no uh recognition for it? Can I trust you? I think it's a trust thing. It's a heart thing. It's a trust thing and a heart thing. And I think this this trip, I learned a lot. I feel like God is about to do something. I feel like He's about to do something. I really feel like He is, and it's a bit nerve wracking. But anyway, I hope somebody listens to this and sees that I have. If God just wants my heart. Some people feel like they're not good enough for God to use them or for God to want of them. Every single person on this earth that God made, He wants their heart. Even the people who mock Him and talk bad about Him, He wants them to repent, and He wants their heart. So, y'all, I'm finna go take a nap. So, as y'all know, we always end our conversations with a conversation with God. So, Father, I thank you for this time. I thank you for this platform. God, I thank you for your love that chastens, your love that corrects, but your love that also embraces, your love that shows me you want me for me, your love that shows whomever will see this, you want them for them. So, God, I pray that somebody is encouraged. I pray that somebody turns their heart back to you. I pray that somebody takes a deeper look into themselves, that you even show them what needs to be done for them to fully give themselves to you. God, I pray that this reaches somebody who needs to hear it and ultimately leads somebody to you. Lord, I thank you for it. I praise you for it. And I believe that, God, you are going to do something great. But even not focusing on that, God, help me to be obedient. Help whomever to be obedient to you, withholding nothing. Amen. So until next time, y'all, thank you for joining me. Like, share, comment, share with a friend, share with somebody who you think needs to hear this. And we only going up from here. We only going up from here. So, like I said, until next time, we out. I should know.